Thank you very much. President Tsereteli, thank you also for the acknowledgement of our work. And Secretary General Montella, distinguished parliamentarians, first of all, welcome to Bratislava. This is actually the first meeting we are having, high-level meeting in Cheba, and it is my pleasure to be here with you today. I'm convinced parliamentarians do have a vital role to play in the OBSE as such, but also in the comprehensive security and prosperity. And your perspectives and lessons learned are crucial to us. And that is from three perspectives that I see. First, it is because you are the link with the people of the OBSE, and the OBSE should serve the people. Second, it is the election monitoring in the OBSE area, and I have to say that that is an essential part of the OBSE, a regular activity that we actually see on the news and in the media in Europe. And you, of course, by your thoughts and proposals and perspectives, also inspire the work of the organization. Therefore, on behalf of the Slovak chairmanship, I would like to thank you very much for your active but also constructive work and support and engagement during the year 2019. Now, near the end of our chairmanship, I take this opportunity to very briefly reflect on our achievements and maybe on a couple of remaining challenges ahead. So as you know, three priorities have been identified, the three main priorities of our chairmanship, and that is conflict prevention first, then safer future, and third, effective multilateralism. So to start with the first priority, preventing and resolving conflicts and mitigating their impacts on people. I believe we found ways to take small steps forward for people. We showed that the OBSE is engaged in crisis and conflict settings at the highest possible level. We also pressed for improvements in the humanitarian situation in Ukraine, with some progress. This includes disengagement and the repair of the Stanica Bridge, which I'm sure you're very well aware, as it was recently opened and reconstructed. It has been in the media. And this is actually not only a concrete result of the work that people can actually benefit from, but the bridge also is a symbol of connection of the two sides. Therefore, we consider this one of the biggest achievements during our chairmanship. In Georgia, our engagement through the Geneva International discussions and the incident prevention and response mechanisms have shown that the OBSE promotes de-escalation and stability. Our engagement was demonstrated also by nominating a Slovak diplomat for special representative for the South Caucasus. In the Transnistrian settlement process, where I saw the biggest opportunity, we took stock of progress on the existing CBMs, but we also outlined an implementation phase for the future. And I believe, hopefully, this will bring tangible outcomes in the coming weeks and months. Regarding the Náhornom Karabachu conflict, we continue to support the Minsk group of co-chairs in their efforts to reduce tension and maintain an atmosphere that is conducive to peace. For the second priority, to make progress towards a safer future for all, for us, we are particularly focused on identifying risks, but also opportunities related to the fourth industrial revolution. We actively initiated, shaped, and hosted projects and many different initiatives advancing a comprehensive approach to our future security. We also engaged and empowered youth and women. We also took important steps to promote cooperation on energy, cybersecurity, but also violent extremism and radicalization that lead to terrorism. However, political will of participating states is crucial in every area, and this is also true for the third priority of ours, and that is effective multilateralism. As we respond to a new era of major transnational security threats, there is a clear tactical, strategic, but also political value in not acting alone. So we looked for ways to cooperate, internally, but also externally. We as a chairmanship revitalized the role of the OBSE as a platform for dialogue at all levels. We have also built stronger links with the Asian and Mediterranean partners, but also with other international organizations, mainly United Nations and the EU. Ladies and gentlemen, against the background of increasing political tension, we should not forget that the OBSE continues to do extremely valuable work on the ground. it still provides a platform for realization of our core values and commitments. Indeed, it is the vehicle by which we bring those commitments to life. But this is not possible, as you know, without proper funding. And I would like to talk more about this. The adoption of the OEC annual budget was yet again delayed this year. OEC participating states find it more and more and increasingly difficult to annually agree on the adoption of the budget. And this happens from every year, from one year to another. Very peculiar situation that we have been confronted with as a chairmanship at the beginning of the year. So we had to take care of the budget, but also of the scales of contributions. As of January this year, I led the informal working group on scales of contributions. Our work was practically twofold. One was political, the other was expert level. So we conducted an intense political dialogues and interventions were necessary, but we also very actively worked on the ground in Vienna with every delegation on the expert level bilateral negotiations. Finally, in April, we managed to put an end to the legal vacuum regarding the scales of contributions. And this is very important. After 15 years, we have been able to achieve consensus on the new set of scales of contributions, which is, I believe, also a huge achievement, but also it is symbolic. It's a symbol of achieving consensus in this area. But it was only for this year, for 2019. So the situation will most likely repeat again next year. But we have a vision to go beyond 2019. Therefore, we negotiated and also outlined a proposal that was looking ahead, 6 years ahead, new, let's say, framework of scales, which included every position of every delegation, every participating state, but it also included a certain level of flexibility and voluntariness. Therefore, I believe that every country would somehow find itself in this proposal. Up until today, we have received 56 green lights for this proposal, remaining one. We will not give up. But this is the reality that to a large extent drives the OEC today. Therefore, I would very kindly use this opportunity and appeal on you, honorable parliamentarians, as the representatives of the people, again, to support the OEC with your voice in your countries and explain the importance of this unique organization. Without this understanding, there will always be a lack of political will, hence also insufficient funding. Before I close, I would also like to encourage you to continue thinking strategically, but also encourage us, all of us here today, to think about what do we want to do with the OEC, how do we want the organization to act, and also what do we want to achieve through the OEC. And this requires not only thinking a couple of years ahead, probably decades, more long-term, more strategic, and I believe that real and long-term change requires for us to have a vision. It requires also faith, but last but not least, also commitment from all of us. But I believe that together, when we will be inclusive and cooperative, we will be able to achieve results. I thank you very much.